Bam! We're back at it again on the live streams. What up? Just give it a second here. People should be kicking in soon. A little bit of a... There we go. That's better. Sort of. Maybe he wasn't ready. Maybe I misunderstood. Might be still putting the kids down. Dun 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 dun. Anthony!
What are you talking about? I'm ready.
I thought you meant you were ready with the thumbs up, so I was like,
What's up, baby? We're here. Look at you all dressed nice.
Gotta keep it fresh to death, yo.
Kylie might hop in. She just got home. She might hop in.
Nice.
Killer combo, you know.
Yeah, man. Go for it. Sweet. I know sometimes it takes usually takes a couple minutes for Facebook to do its rounds and start telling everybody that we're here and whatever, so.
Perfect. Where are we broadcasting on? Just your live feed or your personal feed, or is it on
Yeah, just personal, so then
Yeah.
everybody sees it that we're connected to.
Look at
And then it should be public, so we can throw it in sales talk and stuff like that. It usually ends up with like 500 or so views when we do that.
You're the man. You are
Absolutely insane. Do you know how to download videos off Facebook?
No, you're gonna have to teach me. So I save as much as I can, but my phone is always like the memory's always full. Like I'm deleting videos all day, every day to try to save space.
There's an add-on that you can get for Chrome on your computer.
Okay.
And you basically just click the video that you want, and it'll ask you if you're playing it or downloading it. And you could download it, throw it on YouTube, on your YouTube channel, and put it up wherever.
So I can just go back through my entire feed and just do that, huh?
Yeah, if you want to go through and download everything that you've saved since the dawn of time.
I mean, I've been doing this for like a few months, ever since, you know what, when I really started doing some of this stuff was after we talked. When was that, April?
Yeah, somewhere around there.
Yeah. So, anyways, Ryan. What's up, Ryan?
See, that's the weird thing. Like, I can't see everybody that pops in the chat sometimes, like in the streams.
Really?
If they're not,
Because it's my friend and not yours?
yeah, that's what I'm thinking. But I think it depends on privacy settings too, because some people I've streamed with, I can see everybody whether I know them or not. Certain people I can't see their friends when they join.
Nice. Nice.
Yeah, it's weird.
By the way, what did you do to get that hat?
I basically kissed Ryan's ass. I put him on the spot on one of the Engage calls. I said, "Hey man, like I'm gunning for one of those hats. What can I do?" So he said he'd probably give you one too. He gave me this for all my activity and my engagement and helping out in all the groups.
Nice.
You're about as active as me. If you hit him up, you might just say, "Yeah, talk to Linz."
I like it. I might do that. I won't tell him you told me.
Well, I'm sure he'll find out. I did that. Somebody sent that program to organize their friends list by like most engaged with you or whatever.
Okay.
And I went through. Ryan was like in my top 3 or 4.
Of course. I didn't know this was a thing. I think I'm one of his super fans now or whatever. Is that what they're called? I don't even know. Like most engaged.
Oh yeah, for like engaging.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
That's funny.
Yeah. How's your week so far?
Sweet. Well, it's been good. A little bit slower than I would like, but hey, it's okay to have a slow week every now and then.
Yeah.
What about you?
It's been really good. I'm finishing the week strong. I'm finishing the month strong, so it's been good. Yeah, excited. That's on the nurse side of things. So, yep.
Nice.
That's my full-time gig.
Sweet, man. This month was one of our biggest months, so I can't really complain about having a bit of a slower week to wind it up.
Yeah. Probably just building for next week, right? You're just building the pipe.
Building for next month, man. Let that momentum keep going. it still comes in waves sometimes. The weirdest thing ever, but it's cool.
It's all good. You can't control when it comes. If you just keep doing the work, it'll happen when it's supposed to.
That's what she said.
Uh, uh, Already starting with that, huh? Should have known better. Okay, off your book. Every time I watch a video of you, you're doing this.
I know it's weird. I always wait. It says that it's setting up the live, and I'm like, okay, I'll take another quick sip, and then it's like it records that while it's recording while it's saying it's setting it up. I'm like, ah.
You gotta fix that. You gotta wait a little bit or start sooner. Every time, every time, every time. What else was I gonna ask you? Yeah, we'll see each other in October, right?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I'll be down there.
You and Steve and some other guys from that crew.
Yeah, yeah. Todd's hoping that he's gonna be coming out too. He's working on it.
Okay, nice. I need to book my room still. I was talking to Steve the other day. Like the Renaissance to book that bad boy. Do you know how much that is?
Yeah, it's like 230 a night, 220 a night.
260 now when I was looking at it.
Oh wow.
Like, I don't know. I'm cheap when it comes to that stuff, so not happening. I'll figure something else out. But
I still haven't even. I got the hotel. I just don't have the flight, and I'm dreading that because it's like last time I went down there, it was like shitty layovers.
yeah, I've got it pretty good. I didn't know if I could fly in direct, but I can, so I'm pretty pumped. That'll be nice. So, are you gonna go Tuesday night and then stay till Friday morning? Is that what your plan is, or?
Yeah,
Okay, nice.
yeah. Head out there a day early and then leave the day after, or the day after.
I think that's what I was gonna do too. We'll see. We'll see. I'll let Kylie help with that stuff. I let her do all that. She's the expert.
Right? Makes life a bit easier.
Yeah, we make a good team. She does what I'm not good at. I try to do what she's not good at, but she's better at a lot more things than I am. So.
Yeah, for
So
sure.
not a-
Play on
not
each
a-
other's strengths.
Right. Right.
Did you ever end up joining Warrior King's Kit?
No, I need to. I still need to dive in the book, man. Are you through that? Are you done with it?
Justice, what's going on, buddy? Yeah, I'm through it, man. King's Kit's gone up to like $1,000 to join now. It's not 100 anymore.
Wow. You just did that like you started the summer. Yeah, how does that work?
I did King's Kit too. They're on like 4 or 5 now.
Holy smokes. It's
But
been good.
yeah, so you got like the 30 days basically just like an introduction, a trial. And then if you want to stay in it, it's like $500 a month after that.
Holy smokes. Are you
There's like
Go ahead.
there's over 18 hours, there's like 18 hours of training a week.
How do you balance that? You're doing it still?
Yeah, yeah.
Awesome.
Everything from like working out and like eating right up to being, so that would be like Ryan's faith.
Yeah.
Balance would be family, and then business would be finances.
Does it coincide a lot with Ryan stuff? I mean, is it pretty similar or a lot
And
different?
there's not a lot of overlap, no. Like some of the concepts you can tell are similar, whereas Ryan's mostly focused on the technical aspects, right? On all the technology, all the technicalities and stuff. Whereas Garrett's more detailed, but more in the on the other side of it.
Gotcha.
He
Huh.
doesn't really get into like the technology and the systems or anything like that too much unless you're on a hot seat. And even then they don't.
So Ryan's way better at that stuff, sounds like. That piece
On
of
that
it.
end, yeah, there's more value there.
Yeah, for sure. Nice. All right. Well, that's good. Yeah, should we dive in?
Get her rolling.
What do you got for me? I'm excited.
And I'm just looking at everybody coming in and leaving while we're chit-chatting. I think they want the juicy stuff, so
Yeah, they don't want our chit chatting. I get it.
they don't want the small talk. Yeah, man, like this is just supposed to be like a general kick it, like a coffee, like hanging out, having coffee with somebody, right? Like as
Yeah.
people are coming in, get them asking questions, get them engaged. Adeline, how's it going? Get them engaged, like we'll answer their questions, help them out. But I mean, it's without fitness, without health, you don't have a life, right? Your
Absolutely.
bucket list is gone, your family's gone, everything's out the window. That's like one of the most important foundational aspects, because without it, you got nothing. So I haven't done anything really on fitness and food or none of
Right.
that really on my streams. So let's feed it to
Yeah,
them.
I
You're
appreciate
the
it.
expert.
So, well, I try to be. I'm working towards that, and like you said, it is the foundation, and I truly believe that you got to take care of yourself first to take care of everybody else, right? So if you're not taking care of your own body and treating it right and doing the right things for yourself, and a lot of that's the fuel aspect. So fuel and fitness, that's what we. So we do our online coaching business as well. We own a couple fitness gyms for those of you guys that don't know, here in Omaha, Nebraska, and then we're now doing online coaching. For people that maybe aren't necessarily in Omaha. So that's been great, and we're just getting that ramped up. And fitness has been around for my wife and myself since. I mean, we grew up in small towns in Nebraska, and when I say small towns, I'm talking like 500 people, right? So
That's not even a town. That's a
dude,
village.
it's not even a town. Yeah, you're exactly right. So it's a village. Kylie said it's a village. She's yelling. So the thing is with that, hey Leanne, um, you know, we had nothing else to do but play sports. I mean, that's what we grew up doing. We were, running around, riding bikes, playing baseball, home run derby, shooting hoops, like
Mhm.
all that stuff. I mean, that was the only thing. So you're always active, right? And that's what you grew up doing. And my parents played sports and went to college on scholarship. So that's what you did. I mean, you just follow in their footsteps, and
Yeah.
fitness was a piece of that. And in my younger years, so my parents farmed, and that's hard work in itself. So we were outside a lot and getting up early. So the fundamental stuff was always there, that work ethic and waking up early and getting to work and all those things. I hated it. I hated every minute of it, but I was young and I didn't appreciate it. But
Mhm.
looking back on it, I appreciate, because that set me up for success. I mean, growing up that way, living in a small town and working your butt off, because that's what you do. I mean, blue collar, like work your butt off kind of thing. And now that's translated into the fitness piece. So, and my wife is the same way. So I think that's what really got us started. And then there's a lot of things that happened since then, but that's truly where the foundation came from. And taking care of yourself and not putting bad fuel in your body, and food is the fuel, right? It's what
Yeah.
it's those little choices over time. I mean, if I choose to eat a cheeseburger every time, if I choose French fries every time I go to a restaurant, over time, you know, even if I am working out as I get older, it's you know, it's not going to be as beneficial as if I'm eating the right things. Lots of vegetables, lean protein, all those kind of things. So I think people don't think about it. Oh, I can, I'll do better next time. It's always, I'll do better on the next meal, or I'll do it tomorrow. They're always putting stuff off, like, and you can't do that. You got to get to a point to where you got to make a lifestyle out of it, and that's what we try to do.
Yeah.
That's what we try to teach others. So, anyways,
Yeah. I came across a video the other day, I think on here. Some guy for years, he ate hamburgers 3 times a day for meals,
yeah,
hamburgers and fries. And he
yeah,
was like, he was so overweight. He was dying. It was killing him and ripping his family apart and stuff. Like it was brutal because he had no health, right? His health is going downhill. He had no energy but to like sleep and be awake for an hour at a time.
right. And there's a lot,
It's
yeah,
disgusting.
right. And there's a lot of extremes that come with that, but I think I've had my ups and downs. I mean, there's been times
We all
where,
do.
oh, right. But I've had downs that lasted years. Like I'll have to send you a picture. When I was at my worst, I was probably 230
Mike.
pounds, like worked a desk job at the bank, like didn't, just ate whatever was available, vending machine
Yeah.
stuff, energy drinks, all that jazz, because I thought that's what I needed to get through the day, because it was a desk job, and I just was just coasting, right? And I didn't realize that being out of your comfort zone is the only way you're going to get better. And it took me a long time
Mm.
to figure it out, but when I finally did, I mean, that was the accountability piece I needed. So,
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I went through it when I was younger, man. I was a typical kid. I was like, fuck this. I'm just gonna like eat McDonald's, Wendy's, canned food, whatever all the time. I don't care.
Right.
Pack down the pop, pack down the energy drinks, and like it's not that I didn't really get overweight or nothing because I was like I was doing other stupid shit that just I was like skinny as all hell. I couldn't put weight on if my life depended on it. So,
Well, that's just it,
but
right? I mean,
and then you have no energy for anything. Like there's just no energy. You don't want to do anything. You're not happy. You're running around like angry, depressed, mopey all the time. Like it didn't work. It took one of the restaurants that I was cooking at. They're like, you got to cut this shit out. Like you work in a fucking restaurant. You can eat healthy, no problem. Like you know how to cook. You know how to do shit.
right, right. That was one of the things in high school I remember. So that reminded me of this. You saying that in high school we used to do the cheeseburger challenge. So we'd drive through two different cars, four guys each, and I can't remember the amount, but I think we go to McDonald's or whatever and order like 50 cheeseburgers between the cars, and whoever got done eating them all first won. So like I was
Ugh.
eating, yeah, right. It might have been 15 burgers each or something, and then we drive, and whoever ate them all first won. Like who comes up with that? Why? I mean, just stupid, idiotic shit.
Yeah.
Like I don't know. Like I remember feeling horrible for like a week. Like it was just silly. But some people are fine. I don't know. So it's just refocusing on what's important in life, and knowing those small choices over time are gonna affect you. I think. But
Mhm. The thing is, health and finance work very similar. If you're not taking care of your health, it's going to take a long time for that to catch up to you and hit. But also on the flip, like look at your finances as you're like trying to save for retirement or do whatever. If you screw up in your finances, it's also going to take 10 plus years for you to find out that you screwed up somewhere with your finances. It doesn't always happen overnight looking at your books, right? Like when it comes to investing and stuff like that, it's the same basic principles underlying anyways.
yeah,
I don't think we're sorry. Hi.
Kylie jumped in.
What's up?
Hey. I don't think it's where we Anthony mentioned like we grew up on farms in central Nebraska
Yep.
and we grew up like eating casseroles. We were active, but I mean what our parents cooked and what they still cook, I mean it's binded with cheese and cream of something, cream of mustard. Like it's all casseroles and you just ate it, and growing up that way it's very different than the way we live now. So like you were saying with the finances, or you can make that change. You just have to know, you have to be ready for it, and you have to choose to
Yeah.
make and educate yourself on why and like what your food is doing to you, because it does. It changes your attitude. It changes everything. It changes your outlook on life, and so then your fitness and your family and finance, we're all connected in that place. It all starts
Yeah,
taking care of your body. Your body is your temple. Take
Well,
care.
absolutely.
and a lot of it's just portion control. I remember growing up, like our parents, my grandparents, eat everything on your plate. Like you can't leave until you've ate everything on your plate. Like
I would sit at my table for like 6 hours, 4 hours because I
I would
refused to
be
keep
like,
eating.
right. As a kid, I remember like almost falling asleep because I was in a food coma.
But they do it
Because
to all
Yeah.
people.
but
Like
and they still, it's they just don't know any better. Like they don't realize it. It's not, you know. I mean, we still go back and have, massive dinners and all. Like, so there's like 6 meals a day, but they were all like full on meals, like not in between meals, like snacks. And we preach that. I mean, that's important. Small meals, multiple times a day, every 2 to 3 hours, keep your metabolism rolling, right? But these are like 3 main course meals, and then
it's Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving for every meal almost.
4 times a day.
Yeah.
They've kind of adjusted to, like, they know that our family doesn't eat that way, or we pack our own food.
Yeah.
When we go back, because I'm like, we don't want to put a burden on you, but we just don't eat that way. Like our girls don't. Like our girls seriously don't. They don't know what it is, and we
Yeah.
it's just a choice that we make in the way that we live our life and want to raise our girls to be strong and healthy.
Mhm. Absolutely. And that a big part of that comes down to just defining your goals. What do you want? And why do you want it, right? and doing it for the right reasons. I mean, if you're picking out your fitness goals, your food, your fitness and your food goals and stuff like that, and you're doing it for the wrong reasons, you're gonna slip and slide, and it's just not gonna work out as effectively as if you find a reason for yourself and you just keep going at it.
Yeah, and that's what everybody's got to figure out, and you got to stick to it. And if you, and then a big thing, you know, that we always focus on is you're gonna slip up and you're gonna fall off. It's how quickly you're gonna get back on the tracks.
What's
I
your
mean,
next step?
what's the next step after that? Okay, so you had a cheat meal, or you messed up, or hey, I went out and had too many beers one night, and that's okay. But now you're working that much harder in the gym, and you're making up for it the next day, and you know, so on and so forth. So you can't let yourself fall into that bad habit. You gotta pick right back up and go back to the way things were.
The next step is the most important. Like, you ate that donut for breakfast, but do you wash the whole day, or do you just jump back on and pick up what you left off? Like, I ate the donut, I'm moving on for lunch, and I'm going to fuel my body correctly. Or do you say, oh, if the day's a wash, I'm going to go and
just binge that.
have a day, and that day's going to do a couple days, then a week, and then it's a month, and then. So the most important thing is, what do you do the moment after you fail?
Mhm.
So how do you, Daniel, I'm curious, you know, you were in the restaurant.
I'm going.
All right, she's out.
All right, peace.
So working in the restaurant industry, like, was that, you know, I'm always curious about that, and going to restaurants, and if I'm ordering truly what's on the menu, and if the healthy items truly are healthy, and I know they have to put, you know, the facts on the menus now, and they put calories and the macros and all that stuff, which is phenomenal. But like, was that a challenge for you, or did, you know, growing up in the restaurant, like, was that something that, you know, you just, I don't know, fill me in on that aspect, like, from your experience on how that worked.
Just back then, I didn't care.
Right.
I didn't care. I was like, I'm just gonna do what I want, and I don't really give a shit, right?
Right.
But I mean, it all depends on where you go. That's the thing. Like, if you're going places like Boston Pizza, Montana, stuff like that. Like, that's all heat and serve. Like, pretty much everything comes to the point that you just throw it in a pan or whatever you need. You cook it and it's out. Like, the vegetables and stuff, like vegetables, cheese, stuff like that. Yeah, that's the produce and stuff is fresh, but everything is like it's all packaged up in a factory somewhere, so it's consistent, all the sauces, everything like that. So
Yeah.
it's like, is it really that healthy at the end of the day? It's guaranteed it's all coming all processed if that's the way it is. Whereas if you go, like, I loved working at like small places, like more local places, like pubs and that kind of stuff, because it was just awesome because I got to play with stuff, I got to create stuff, I got to make stuff. It wasn't stuff's coming in all heated and ready to go. Certain sauces were, but you could add to it, you could play with it, you
Right.
could create a lunch special, create a dinner special if you wanted, whatever the case may be, right? And that's what I loved. And
Like factory rolling off a conveyor belt, like, here it is, like, next please, next, I mean, going through the food line, right? I mean,
well, yeah, and you could taste the difference night and day between what's been processed and what's actually coming out fresh.
yeah, yeah,
Like, it's really not that hard once you know what you're eating. And you so and that's really what I loved. And that's when I started working in places like that, that's at the end of the day where I really started having that shift and things started changing direction, because everybody I worked with there, most of them were health conscious. I mean, it's a culture of its own being in the hospitality industry. It's very much a
yeah,
subculture of its own. It's a very much party lifestyle. Too many people, like so many people, it's just about getting drunk after work because you get off work too late to have a life, smoking
yeah,
weed all the time, doing whatever. But a lot of people I ended up working with were also very health conscious. So they would be sleeping in a bit, but they'd be hitting the gym, they'd be sweating stuff out, they'd be doing what they could to kind of balance it out in between. And they're kind of like, what the hell are you doing? Like, give yourself a head of shake, dude. Like, give your head a shake, dude. Like, the lifestyle isn't sustainable for long. Either get out while you can or start making changes so it can be sustainable for the long term without killing yourself.
Right. And it just, again, it always comes back to your why and being, one day, and then that's what happened for me. I mean, I grew up being in shape and being fit because you just were active. You had to be. And then after college and after sports were over and after you started working and putting in more hours, I just looked in the mirror one day and I'm like, I don't even recognize that person. And then, make a change. And that's where there's pain points and it's about your why. And I hate talking about that all the time, but it's, my goal is, and I tell people this all the time, like I want to be the fit grandpa, right? I want to be the fittest grandpa around. I want to be able to chase my grandkids around and be, riding bikes with them or doing whatever else. Like that's my goal. Like that's as far as fitness goes and taking care of myself. That's what I want to be able to do. I don't want to be, walking with my cane or rolling by on a, whatever, wheelchair, or, whatever it is. I mean, that's the goal. I want to be, playing tag and hide and seek and all that stuff with my grandkids, not just my kids. So that's ultimately what I think about when I think about my why and staying fit. So, and helping others, of course.
For sure. Yeah, a few months ago there, I got invited out to a birthday party. I'd never met the people before, but they had twin daughters, and it was their daughter's birthday party. I was like 6 hours straight. I didn't even notice time go by, but like 6 hours, I'm chasing the kids around with my big like Terminator water gun, just hosing them all down, just going in like all the adults are like, how, like you've just chased these kids around for 4 to 6 hours. How the hell are you still going? It's like 40 degrees out and stuff. I'm like, I don't know. But like I notice it now that I'm working out consistently in the mornings and stuff, because like I'm not stretchy. I'm not as flexible as I should be, right? Like it's weird. I'm like, and that's like, I'm like, shit. I gotta go that much harder and just like get my health back in shape, because I'm gonna be like all like when I'm older if I'm not like stretching and taking care of myself. I'm gonna be so stiff. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, I'm starting to feel that way too, and yeah, flexibility is huge, and that's a huge thing that people forget about, and it's not really fun. It's kind of boring, and people talk about yoga and all those kind of things, and I'm a huge advocate of it. I don't do it enough. I try to do it maybe one day a week, but anything that's going to, keep you flexible. I mean, that's mobility, that's balance, that's all that kind of stuff, and people forget about that, unfortunately. Everybody wants to do the quick and easy stuff, not the slow and boring and methodical, like, that kind of stuff. So, but it's super important. And, I need to be more of an advocate for it than I really am, because I'm not super flexible. But if I was, I would be, I'd feel a lot better. So.
Absolutely. Like I don't want to be like I don't want to be like the yoga person that can twist myself up and bend myself all every ways. But I mean, like what I've been challenging myself to do is, after working out, is just stretching to cool myself down and regulate myself for like 15 minutes. Just 15 minutes. Because I know, especially my legs, like I can't, like if I'm like sitting on the ground or something like that, like my knee has to be bent. I can't put my legs straight. It hurts, and that's from never stretching and the muscles getting so tight, right? But what I also found out is that stretching after you work out can help you build muscle that faster, tone that much faster. I've heard other people say it kills your gains, but I can't see that. I don't believe it.
Everybody's got their own opinion on things, but I don't see that. So, and a few other pointers, yeah, flexibility is huge, and absolutely, and you're going to be stronger because of it, because you're going to have more mobility, right? So you're not stiff, and a fixed range of motion is good, but when you can't move and bend certain ways and things like that, you're not lifting to or you're not moving to your full potential. So, but I guess other tips that people that are maybe definitely starting off with fitness that I always tell them is, like, people try to do way too much, way too fast. Like they're either all in and you got to start a little bit slower. Take it easy, build a routine. Maybe you're only going to work out 3 days a week. Like, you can't go 7 days a week, 3 hours of time at the gym. Like, that's not sustainable. You've got to work your way up to it. You've got to, because you're going to be super sore, and then you're going to get so sore to where you're like, I can't, I'm going to skip the gym, and then you're going to skip 2 or 3 days in a row. You go down a bad path, right? So start slow if you're restarting on things, and then don't be afraid to switch things up too. I mean, part of what we do is, focus on high intensity interval training. So we do a lot of that, but we have to have resistance training too. And people think, like, especially the women, like, oh, I'm going to get big and bulky if I lift weights. No, that's not the case. If you're eating right and fueling your body correctly, you're going to lean out, you're going to build that muscle, and that's what's going to burn more fat, actually. You're going to be leaner. You're not going to be – the only women that get big is when they're on the other stuff that's, the chemicals that you shouldn't be putting in your body anyways. That's the only time you're going to see, the ladies getting jacked out of their mind for the most part. There's some really, there's some physical specimens out there as well. Some great genetic freaks, we'll call them, that they can get there.
Yeah.
But majority of them all have a little bit of assistance. So
I didn't even funny story. I didn't even know what HIIT training was or anything. I was going through YouTube. I'm like, I need something to do for a half hour today because I have whatever I remember from working out whenever, like at home workouts. But I'm like, I need to expand that. And I saw this HIIT thing, and I'm like, oh, that looks kind of cool. I was like, my legs, my ass, my abs, like I was sore for like 2 days. I'm like, I can barely move. I'm like, what is this? And now it's like one of my go-to things. I'm like, fuck, this is awesome. And it didn't take long for me to like catch up and be able to do like a 30-minute routine without taking like too many extra breaks along the way.
Yeah.
Still cheat on a couple things, like keeping my knees on the ground, but it builds up quick when you're actually try.
Yeah, it's consistency and staying consistent. And the other thing I like to do, so any kind of cardio I like to do in the morning, and then I lift more during the middle of the day. Part of it's routine. That's what works for me. But, the cardio and getting a good sweat in and just getting all the cobwebs out and getting those endorphins up and all that kind of stuff, like, sets me up so much better. I'm in a way better mood. I've got all the cobwebs out so I can focus and think, and I'm ready to go. Like, as soon as I start or get rolling with things, like, it's go time, and it's not like that hour where you're drinking your coffee and starting to try to ramp up. You've already wasted an hour and a half of your day, and then you're crashing on at the end of the day because you didn't get your workout in. I feel more energized for longer when I work out in the morning versus people like, well, if I work out early, then I'm going to crash at like 2 in, and I don't believe that at all. For me, truly, that's not the case. It's like, get it done early. And that's one of the things Ryan talks about. And that's why, and he's spot on. Like, his workout that he does, for example, he does it right away in the morning. Hardest thing he does every day, and he gets that out of the way. So you've already accomplished the hardest possible task you're going to face that day, and everything else is easy, right? So I love that, and that's something I hadn't really thought about before. But I think people miss out, and getting it done first, like, because there's so many excuses. Like, after work, oh, guys want to go out for drinks, happy hour, or I need to get home and dinner and hang out with the kids and hang out with the wife, and then it's 9 or 10 o'clock, and I'll do the workout tomorrow. Like, so getting it done first, huge.
Absolutely. I went through that when I said I got to like work myself into getting into a routine and stuff like that again. I was like, I'll do it in the middle of the afternoon, do it like after lunch or something. There's always an excuse. Always an excuse on why I'm not going to do it. So I started. Well, yeah, exactly. And then so I made the switch. I'm like, you know what? If I'm going to get it done, like Ryan said, I think listening to Ryan is what did it. I'm like, all right, you know what? I'm probably going to hate myself, but I'll give it a try. I'll roll out of bed. I'll hit the can. And then the first thing I'll do is a 15-minute workout. And then I got my workout in for the day. Like, I sweated, and then I can like shower, do the rest of my whatever morning routine, and then go. And like, after, it didn't take long. It only took like 3 weeks. And after 3 weeks, I'm like, this isn't good enough. I got to find like half-hour routines and work myself into like half-hour routines. And then probably it'll get to a point where it won't take long before it's like, okay, well, half hour is not cutting it. I need to push it to an hour in the morning now. And I'm at a point physically where I have the stamina that I can actually afford to work with somebody to coach me to do things better, right?
Good. And that's huge too. And that's the accountability piece, and that's part of it. So, we're a member of a lot of groups. I'm a member of a few groups, and Kylie and I run a few groups as well for fitness, but that accountability piece is huge. So we're accountability partners for a lot of our Hudson Hustle. That's our online coaching group. So we do that and any questions, I mean, we're available all the time for them, and that's huge. And it's some days you don't want to do it, and you need that person to push you, right? You need that workout partner, whether it's a virtual workout partner or somebody that's right there beside you. I mean, you get what you get, or you take what you can get, rather. But I think that's a huge piece, having that workout buddy and that accountability partner that you can count on. And we have it too. I mean, Kylie and I have our own fitness accountability partners besides ourselves. I mean, we have people that we rely on as well. So I think that if you know that you're gonna miss, like if you're ready to hit the snooze button, but you got to meet your so and so, they're your workout buddy at the gym, you're not gonna miss, right? Because they're counting on you and you're counting on them. I mean, and that's huge.
Yeah. I don't know what it is about me and gyms. I don't like gyms. I'm more than happy just working out at home. I'm like, I'd rather have everything that I need at home. I could well, not here because I'm in an apartment, but but I was like, it's nice because you can just crank stuff up. You don't have to worry about headphones or nothing, and you can just go.
So you're saying you work out in your boxers all the time, huh?
Hell yeah.
I mean,
gotta keep it comfortable.
Yeah, absolutely. Let everything breathe, huh?
Yeah.
See, and that's actually opposite for me. Like, I'm better if I can go somewhere, because once I get there, then all right, I'm there. Like, so if I would, we have stuff at home, and I work out in the morning. I do my cardio on the treadmill usually here at home. So Kylie can go to our gym and work out is usually what we do. Somebody's got to stay home with the kids, so that's me. So she can get her work. It's a balance, right? But what I was getting at is, like, for me, I would find myself like, I could go downstairs and work out right away in the morning, but I'll just do it at night because it's so convenient. It's right there, right? It's in our basement. I can walk down our stairs and do it. But because it's so convenient, I caught myself not doing it at all. So it's a mind, man. I mean, it truly is. It's that it's that mind game that you gotta play.
It's like it's almost a learned habit or a learned routine. Like because I was an independent financial advisor, and I was working that's where I started, like, the whole work from home life, whatever. Yeah. But I mean, it takes a routine to be able to work at home and be able to compartmentalize things and shut things off. But it also goes the same for working out at home and being able to, because I mean, again, like, I know I'm up here in Canada, but all of my clients, like almost everybody I talk to, is down in the States. I don't really talk to, I have people up here that I talk to and I hang out with, but not often because they're still in, like, the party mode, whatever. Go out party every weekend, and I'm like, I'm not really down for that. But I mean, it's especially when you got like a home life. That's my text tone.
That's awesome.
I should turn that off. Hey, it makes you jump when it's work related. That's funny. But like, it helps, like, it helps me create the divides that I need, the bridges that I need, and, like, the breaks that I need.
Yeah.
And there was like almost 3 years straight, I was on the road. Like, I was every week or two, I was in a different city, camping, checking stuff out, just exploring, living the life, right? It's like, it's kind of hard to, and that's when that lifestyle is when I first started working out and stuff. And that was all like routines that I could do. Like, I have my pull-up bar that I can just pull down, throw in my trunk, and that whole little workout set. And that's kind of what got me in, like, the habits and the routines of working out at home. So now it's just from being on the road and traveling all the time when I was younger, it's just one of those things where it's just so ingrained in me that it's hard to go out and be around people. I'm like, I just want whatever weights, whatever I need right now when I want it. I don't want to have to wait, argue with anybody. Bro, get the hell off. You're just talking.
Right. Right. And people can waste a lot of time at the gym too. Don't get me wrong. Like, I am zoned in, headphones on and full steam ahead, and I don't really talk to anybody when I'm at the gym lifting. And then when we're at 9 Round, which is what we have our gyms here in town that we own, it's different. It's circuit training, so everybody's on their own individual station, which is great. So you're focused on exactly what you're doing and not worried about everybody else, because it changes all the way around. So you're doing something for basically 3 minutes, and then 3 minutes doing something else, 3 minutes doing something. So you're just going around and around, and around, which that works in that sense. But yeah, I totally get, everybody's different. And that's the cool thing about this is and that's why we wanted to do the Hudson Hustle digital coaching thing, is because some people might want to work out from home. Some people might want to go to the gym, and we tailor it towards what works best for them. So I think that's a huge piece too. I was going to ask you, so you mentioned Canada versus the U.S. Overall as a whole, do you think Canadians or Americans are more fit? Like, is it more fit conscious? Like, do you notice any trends there?
Nah, I don't really notice too much of a difference. I know I know people on both sides of the fence in both countries.
Yeah. I was just curious, I don't know. I think America, we still have, we're definitely a very fit, but it depends on how you look at it, I guess. But
yeah,
maybe in the Midwest, we're considered more, less fit than, like in LA or in California, or like Denver, Colorado is like places where there's a lot of outdoors things and things like that. I don't know. I'm just curious as kind of what the consensus is about that a little bit. But
I kind of
ultimately,
I at the end of the day almost have like an unfair bias about that, because when I first moved out here to Calgary, I spent another year and a half as a chef while I was going to school for my financial licenses and stuff. So I ended up like I was still kind of, even though I was trying to distance myself from it and stuff, I was still very much in that whole party lifestyle. Then when I transitioned into finance, when I was corporate, everybody there, like, yes, they like to party on the weekend, but they were very health conscious. Like most of them, I'd say 75, 80% of them were very health conscious as well. And then out of that group, only about 25% of them actually took it serious to the point where they weren't really heavy drinkers or anything like that. Being independent, I'd noticed it was a totally different world, because I would go to training conventions and seminars and stuff like that. And I'd be there, and all of the like older advisors, they would be overweight, they would be out of shape, stuff like that. So there were differences. It was more like the younger ones who still cared about being on top of their health and stuff like that. But like the big shifts is I knew I wanted out of that lifestyle and stuff, and then I ended up joining Entourage, right? So the people that are more in tune with who I was growing into and the direction I was taking in my life, it ended up from being in Entourage and surrounding myself with Entourage Warrior, these kind of people. What's going on, Zach? I ended up just everybody. That's how like my whole network shifted to everybody I know is out there, because almost everything I do is based online now. So it's just I almost have an unfair bias now, because I haven't really gone out to meet anybody otherwise out here, because I'm like, there's just more money, more opportunity down there. Keep building the networks down there, because it's only going to be about a year or so before I'm living down there anyways. So might as well keep building out that network.
Right. And that's something too that, when I was working and in order to get ahead, like so right now I go for lunch to work out, but in order to get ahead for a while, there was like a 6-month stint when I first started working my travel nursing job that I do for recruiting travel nurses. I quit working out during, I just need to build. So I need to take advantage of every minute of every second of every day. And I'd work through lunch, and I found out I was less productive than when I would go and actually work out and then get back refreshed, and you can still think about what you need to do, and sometimes that gym time is where your creative ideas and where your other crazy things happen that you probably wouldn't have come up with or done while you're grinding away, kind of thing. So that took me a while to realize too, but I mean that really
For sure.
So.
And that's where I made the shift, and I built my routines. Like in the morning, I'll do my workout. I'll have my green smoothie. Jonathan, what's going on, bro? I'll do all that kind of stuff. I'll do my meditation. I'll do I'll do my journaling and get my feelings and everything out, do all that. And then 10, 11 o'clock in the morning is where I start my work. I I take like 15 minutes just to eat lunch or whatever. And then come like this ties into what you asked earlier about how I keep up. And
Yeah.
then around 7, 8 o'clock is where I wrap up, like talking to clients, people, networking, doing whatever. And then that gives me a chance if there's any training videos or anything that I want to watch, I can just hit those up then at the end of the day. So I still get a solid 8, 9 hours in working,
Yeah.
but it's kind of broken up on either end. So I get my me time in the morning to get my head on straight, get my mind right, and then just kind of me time and kind of work depending on the day and what kind of trainings are available.
And I think it's important to take breaks throughout the day too, as far as work goes. I mean, you can't go for 4 hours straight and not take a break. I mean, you're not going to be productive and you're not going to be focused. So
Yeah.
usually the 10 minutes of every hour, if it works, I'll get up and go walk around, go grab a drink, go do whatever, just for like a couple minutes, and then back to the grind. And I think breaking it up that way too does not
Mhm.
always, but I think that helps me at least. Maybe not everybody can do that, but it depends. So.
I'll yeah, because I live downtown and there's the river pathways and stuff not far from here. So
Okay.
depending on like if I'm feeling like I'm low on energy or I have no creativity, no whatever, I'll just go for a walk and I can work if I want to while I'm walking or just take
Right.
a refresh break. But it's fun walking down there and doing lives and stuff like that and making fun little videos.
Yeah, I've seen you do a couple of those. I wondered if that's when that was happening. So that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, getting out here. I mean, and that's truly it, changing the atmosphere. Like that could be a total mind shift, and that's huge. And I think, I don't know, people get so set in their ways sometimes that sometimes you need to break
Yeah.
out of those routines too. And I think that's routines are great and they need to happen, and you need to have a set solid plan. But sometimes breaking those routines are actually, you're going to level up and get out of that comfort zone even more. So and that's with everything, work and schedule and fitness and all that stuff. So, anyways,
Hmm. Yeah, absolutely. It goes a long way.
yeah.
So I gotta grab, I gotta plug this in here before it dies on us.
Come on, man. You gonna charge it up?
It was, and then I watched training earlier.
Oh,
I got distracted. I took a midday break to watch some of the warrior training that went on today, and it was actually really good. There's um there's a 3-day convention down in San Diego in December that I'm
nice.
gonna go to.
You're going? Sweet. I need to dive into
Yeah,
that book. That's another thing I need to work on. Like, you
Angel.
know, what's that?
I said, hey, Angel joined. I wasn't calling you Angel.
I was like, whoa, where are we going? No, is seeing, I need to finish one book before I start another, and like, sometimes I get too many things going on at once. I got all these ideas and all these things that I think would be great, and that's something that
Mm,
Kylie taught me about all the time. Like, you're trying to do all these different things, and you got all these brainstorming ideas, but like that's something that I am constantly working on, is see something through to completion before you move on to the next thing. So I've got to finish.
absolutely.
I got to finish Ryan's social media book, and then I'm going to move on to Warrior, I think. So I'm excited for it. That thing is thick, though, man. It's going to take me a while. How long did it take you to read that thing?
Uh, couple weeks.
You,
I just dedicated an hour. I just dedicated an hour a day before bed. Just read as much as I can in an hour, stop, crash, get back to her. But for the Warrior Convention, you don't really need to have read the book to go. It'll help. But it's next week there. Next week they're opening up registration to the public, not just people within the network.
okay,
There's 3 weeks of pre-training before you actually go out there for the 3-day convention.
nice. So that's different from Warrior Week, right? Warrior Week's a totally different monster, right?
Yeah, it's a totally different breed. This is $1,000 event, not a $10,000 event.
Okay, gotcha. Did
Yeah,
Ryan do Warrior Week once upon a time? I thought.
once upon a time he did it. Yeah, he did one of the first. They're on like 53 now, Warrior Week
Holy
53. Ryan was in the first five,
Oh
first
wow.
five or first 10, I
Huh.
think. Yeah.
I'm sure it's evolved since he was in there. So
Oh, huge. Like it's got way more advanced. And now they're doing, they just launched this week is their first Warrior Week for women.
that's good. I was wondering about that, like, because I know that's another podcast that I've been listening to a little bit that I think's huge. Is oh, what do they call it? It's Garrett J. White and his wife. It's Date Your Wife or
Date your
something.
wife?
Yeah, yeah. There's some good stuff in there. I haven't listened to it recently, but I started it. It's pretty spot on.
Yeah, for sure. Back in the earlier days, Garrett just didn't have the capacity for women. It was just too much. He didn't really
Oh,
know how to work because, I mean, it's one thing, like when it comes to guys and opening up and stuff like that, it takes us like 3 days, 4 days of having somebody in our face to actually get us to start opening up. Monday night, the first night of the event, it took them 4 hours to get 400 women to start opening up and go to their dark place. And like it's a totally different dynamic. They don't need to go out into nature and do like SEAL type training and stuff like that to
right.
get them know it's a totally different dynamic, right? But he was saying like he did a couple lives in the network. He's like, I can't believe this. He's like, it's time to just open the floodgates and let couples in, let girlfriends in,
Yeah.
let wives
Yeah.
in. And like we have a training program for them. Like it's working like a million times better than we expected. It's fucking powerful. And these women are like going to go out and absolutely dominate their lives all across the board.
That's
Like
huge.
he's completely blown away at how it's going. So they're gonna keep working that and get it up to speed with the guys stuff as soon as possible.
So the ladies are gonna do better at it than the guys. Guys just don't like to talk about their feelings. They like to keep it bottled up.
Well, and it was funny too. He's like I noticed a big difference because like we tell guys like here's the homework that you need to do yada yada yada. Everybody shows up the next day. They don't have it fucking. They have nothing done. You tell the women, okay, download the app. Here's what you need to do before you show
They're
up.
on.
Not only have they done it all, but they've already networked with other people in the program and band together in little groups of people to support each other through it. Whereas guys, we just show up and like, whatever, we didn't do it. Fuck you.
We'll figure it out.
He's like, yeah, he's like, this is hilarious. He's like, it's the weirdest thing ever. It's like night and day. So he's like, he's finally got the capacity and like the mental capacity and like the patience and stuff to do it. And he's actually been able to figure out how to work it. And yeah, it's going to be interesting to see the way that things go.
You have to let me know how that goes. I am like we've
I'm
been.
single, man, so I don't know. I'm just going to have to go off of what everybody else has to say.
Well, yeah, but yeah, you never know. You might not be single by then.
Well, it was originally for like married businessmen,
Oh yeah.
right? So King's Kit, when they first opened up, they thought it would be a good idea to just like open it up to the general public. Didn't work. The trajectory and the culture that started like coming about through it, it wasn't working. So Garrett went back to the roots of married businessmen. Because I'm
Yeah.
an entrepreneur, so I'm still good. But like he's like they're like we're not kicking anybody out that doesn't fit the criteria. We want to turn you into success stories. You're already here, stick with it. But going forward, it's just getting back to the roots because that's what they know and that's what they're good at. So I'm like, well, I want to get married one day and I want to have kids one day, so I'm still
Well,
safe.
you're good. Yeah. No, I think that'll be awesome. I don't know. I told Kylie that someday I'd want to do Warrior Week, but we'll see. That's down the line a little bit. Who knows? Who knows?
Hey man,
But
get her to do Warrior Week for women.
well, there you go. That would be fun. I mean, and this year's been crazy. Like we've traveled more this year than we ever have, I think, and it's been awesome. Like this has been, you know, getting to meet like you and just some of the people in our group that with
Yeah.
student people and like it's just like I'm just now starting to feel like I'm getting a little bit of traction
Mm,
and there's sky's the limit and that's without even like just the network alone has been amazing. So I appreciate you hopping on the phone with me early on in the process and that kind of stuff because
for
I
sure.
think I think that was huge and I'm excited to meet everybody face to face and I hopefully I'll get Kylie to go to one with me maybe next year or something.
Yeah.
So, we'll see.
Yeah, it's all about those babysitters.
Right? Yeah. It's
Until they're old enough that you can leave them in the hotel alone.
right. Yeah, I'd worry about that even when they're 18, probably.
Just make sure you get room service to clear out the mini fridge so you don't get charged.
Right. Exactly. So, all right, man. I appreciate it. I don't know. I was trying to think if there's anything else. We went a whole hour.
You got any? I know. I say 15 minutes. I stopped saying 15, 30 minutes because they always end up going like an hour and 15 minutes. And just you get carried away and it's just like gone.
No, it's good, and it's fun just to have a conversation and just chat, man. I mean, that's we haven't talked in probably on the phone or whatever for 2 or 3 months, so I always appreciate it. So
yeah, it's been about a month.
Is that
hopefully
all?
Yeah, it's been about a month. Hopefully we were able to provide some value for people. Well, I know people were kind of coming and going as we were getting lost, so we'll get this shared out. We'll get some exposure out there, and anybody
Absolutely.
watching it, like anybody watching the replay, can reach out to us anytime, ask questions, get involved in Anthony's program. Like Hudson Hustle's pretty awesome. I know you guys threw me in one of your groups, so I've been following it, seeing what's going on back there for when I'm ready to actually like have somebody kick my ass and not be a little pussy about it.
You're there already. You're not giving yourself enough credit, I don't think.
I've noticed my chest and stuff getting bigger already, and it's only been a couple weeks of just like 15, 30-minute workouts. It's like it doesn't take long once you commit.
It doesn't, yeah. Consistency, commitment, persistence, I mean, and that's
these instead of energy drinks helps a lot too.
Drink the water, gallon to 2 gallons a day. Like it seems crazy, but and that was one thing too. Before we close, I guess that this year that I decided to do was do my first fitness competition, and that was one of the hardest but most rewarding things I've ever done. And so I'm 37. I don't know if you knew that. I'm 37 years old, and this year I was in probably the best shape I'd ever been in, which is crazy. So, I mean, if I can do it, anybody can do it. It's just putting in the time and dedication. I had a good support system, and that's what this is about too. Having that, Kylie was helping making my meals and, allowing me to go, because I was working out 2, sometimes 3 times a day, like to get what I needed to do done. Like, so it's about having a support system too. But if I can do it, anybody can do it. And you don't have to have, I feel like on the fitness piece, like people think that I'm 40. I can't do what I did when I was 20. So I'm just throwing in the towel. I'm done. And that's not true. Like there's a lot of fit 40, 50. I mean, that's what it is. And that's the whole fit grandpa thing. Like I think I should change my Instagram handle to fit grandpa, even though I have no intention of being a grandpa anytime soon, but
that would still be kind of funny, man. There's like I agree with that 100%. Listening to Garrett's brought it up a few times because he's 43, I think he said. But he's like, because he grew up playing sports and very active and whatever, like similar backgrounds as you guys. But he's like, I'm 43 and I'm in the best shape of my life. Like I've never been this fit.
Yeah.
Ever.
Absolutely.
Like it is possible to have that. You gotta set your goals. You gotta know why you're doing it, and you just gotta do it.
Prioritize, absolutely, and it's.
I want to be able to chase my kids around and throw them off balconies when they're being little rascals and.
Absolutely, that's the best. Chasing your kids around and playing tag and dodgeball and all that fun stuff. So chasing around with squirt guns, water guns, having a water gun fight.
I like the water guns. The trampoline parks are fun, but man, I do that for an hour and I'm like dead. I can't move the next day.
Yeah, those are fun.
All I do is play dodgeball with the kid I mentor. He just wants to play dodgeball the whole time, and that kills me.
Dodgeball's fun. I miss dodgeball. You're getting me all excited now. I'm a big kid, so I enjoy all that stuff. I don't think I'll ever grow out of being a big kid, which is
do a family day to one of the trampoline parks. They probably have most of them have dodgeball. I think you just go throw some balls around.
Yeah, it'd be good. I'll have to do that.
I pegged some kid right in the nose once. I felt so bad. The kid was just the kid was just being a little shit disturber. That he was pissing off the kid I was mentoring and like just kept like doing everything he could. So I'm like, whatever. And so I try to throw the balls and I'm having like those things because they're all squishy, they go wherever. So I
Yeah.
threw it up and I volleyball spiked it and just conked right between the eye.
You pulled a
Thing went straight up. I felt so bad.
You pull the Meet the Fockers Ben Stiller when he drills that girl over the net with the volleyball and bloody nose. I don't know if you've seen that one, but yeah, that's spot
Oh
on.
yeah, that's brutal. I'm like, good thing it was just like a child's ball. The kid made sure he got me back. He pegged me in the head like 4 times after that. I was like, you know, that's what I get.
What you get. Nice, dude. All right, brother. Well, I appreciate this. Thank you for taking the time. This is fun. We'll have to do it again once you cycle through all your peeps that you got a big network, man. You're doing big things, so I'm excited for you and look forward to seeing what you're gonna do next, and of course, chatting in October when we get to hang out. Time, so
You're not far behind me, man.
we got a little ways to go, but we're building it. And that's the other thing too, like just appreciating living in the moment too, because I feel like sometimes people forget, like they're always focused on the end goal and always focused, and then they forget about all the stuff that got you there, and then they're gonna miss that part. Man, it's always so living in the moment a little bit. I think is huge, and people forget about that. But anyway,
Look at Warren Buffett's net worth statements.
yeah,
Like his net worth by years. I can't remember what year it was, but he dropped like 75% for almost 2 years, and then he started like doubling and quadrupling again. If you read his book about his story, he says those years are because he decided he went back to the fundamentals. He knew the fundamentals were lacking. He knew they were missing. So he told everybody everything is on hold. We're focusing on the fundamentals for 2 years, and then we're getting back to it. And he exploded even more than he had over the years, right? So
there's another book I need to add to my list. My books are piling up. I need to get after it. I need to read more than 10 pages a night, I think. That's my goal, 10 pages.
Yeah, get after it. Write it down, an hour of reading before bed.
All right. I'll do it. I'll do it.
Right on. Cheers, brother. Thanks for chatting.
Yeah, man. Appreciate it. We'll share this out and get it out to people and hopefully get some likes and comments and all that fun stuff soon. So
they'll be there. I'm sure they will.
Right,
Cheers, man.
Have a great night. Appreciate it.
You too.
See you, brother.